to What's Right with the World with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
Hello, welcome to What's Right with the World. Today, Ben is going to tell us our news story. Go for it, Ben.
Hey, Glenn. So today we are talking about Tokyo because they are building...
I just had this major... All right, we got to pause here. I just had this major flashback of... I was listening to satellite radio and I heard that song Godzilla that I hadn't heard in forever, and it got stuck in my head. And when you said Tokyo, all I'm hearing is... there goes Tokyo in that song in my head from the Godzilla song.
All right, well...
So flashback from my teenage years.
Cool.
Thanks for sharing it with me.
Well,
so now we're going to actually talk about the news story.
Tokyo has not been destroyed. It is alive and thriving, and they are getting ready for the 2020 Olympics.
I hope Godzilla doesn't come.
Large lizards be damned. They are building eco-friendly solar roads ahead of the 2020 Olympics. And this article comes from The Independent in the UK. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government plans to introduce solar roads that collect energy from the sun via solar panels installed beneath the surface of the roads. The effort is aimed at promoting Tokyo as an eco-friendly city both domestically and abroad ahead of the 2020 Olympics and Paralympics. The new technologies are expected to be introduced on a trial basis at facilities owned by the Tokyo government and other locations as soon as the next fiscal year. So they already installed one in May in a car park, and it's doing well. So this is something I'm personally excited about. I'm really excited about the idea of solar roads.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of them until you'd brought this up.
Oh, man. So there was a Kickstarter a few years ago that people really were like, this is a great idea, but the technology isn't there yet. So like maybe this isn't the most trustworthy thing. But the idea is that you can take the things that are pavement currently, roads, parking lots, basketball courts, stuff like that, and you can turn them into solar panels that have a protective covering on them so that when they're sitting out in the sun all day, they're gaining energy, and then you can harness that energy and use it instead of the pavement, which right now is literally everywhere and not doing anybody any good except for being pavement.
Right.
So,
yeah, taking something that's already there and turning it into something useful is phenomenal. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, so the 7-Eleven, there was a solar panels at a 7-Eleven store in Japan, which, by the way, 7-Eleven in Japan is not the same thing as 7-Eleven here.
No,
I mean, I guess it is, but it's 7-Elevens are big deals in Japan.
Oh, so
you can get a ton of food that you like, good food, and that's a story for another time. The solar road system can generate 16,145 kilowatt hours of electricity annually, which covers about 9% of the entire electricity that the store consumes. The goal is set total for having renewable energy that's about 30% of Tokyo's power consumption by 2030, and 12% compared to a similar target of 12% that they set in 2016. So they're really hopeful that these solar roads are going to make a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's, wherever it starts, it's, that's the beauty of something that works is it spreads. So if it works, then I'm sure we'll start seeing them over here. And
yeah, I mean, if it works and it's a big deal, I mean, there's no bigger conversation piece than the Summer Olympics.
Right. What a great avenue for this to be tried and shown to the world.
You're literally on the world stage.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that. I love that it's like I see the solar panels all over, on the side of the highway and stuff. And it's like, I'm like, oh, well, good. We're using solar. But I didn't even think that, because I think that that's a good thing, just in general. So I never had any negative aspect to it. But it does take up a lot of room, So, which is kind of cool that we can use the existing structures. It reminds me of the same mentality of putting those soccer fields on top of subway stations. It's like you've got things that are out there. Let's turn them into something that's more that has a purpose,
right?
And people that have gardens on the rooftops in the cities, and all that type of stuff. I love that mentality of taking something that we already have available and turning it into something that's useful. Yeah, for us.
Definitely.
So it's beautiful stuff, man. I love it.
It's really cool.
It's just I think this podcast is really starting to affect me because I think I have a pretty positive outlook most of the time, but there is a lot of negativity out there. And but talking about this stuff all the time, it's like, boy, there's so much interesting, good stuff happening. It's amazing. It's just endless. It's endless. This could be water cooler conversation for everybody around the world, constantly, every day, all the time, instead of negative conversations.
It would be so much better than what world leader said something bad about another world leader and then made another guy mad.
Yeah, it's just, let's talk about positive stuff instead of negative stuff. That's all. It's still stuff. But when I talk about this, I feel better. When I talk about the negative stuff, I feel worse. I feel tight. I feel constricted. This, I feel happy and open. It's the whole purpose of the show. It's the whole purpose of the Great Love Project. What you put attention to expands. Exactly. So what do you want to feel? Do you want to feel happy and open and hopeful and joyful? Then talk about this stuff. If you want to feel negative and closed off and constricted and fear-filled and worried, then you talk about the negative stuff. But nobody would make that choice consciously. Nobody wants to feel negative feelings. So it's about, bringing the consciousness to this, understanding you do have a choice and there is plenty good that's happening out there. So let's put more light and conversation and effort onto those things. And, we go, oh, I can't do anything to change the world. Yeah, you can. Talk about what other people are doing to change the world. That changes the world. So you can do that. Perfect. So thanks for listening, everybody, and go spread the word. Yeah, use the hashtag What's Right with the World. Use the hashtag The Great Love Project. Share the things that are positive and share the things that you love. Do it. Later.
Glenn is available for life coaching sessions, in person or via phone and Skype. To book an appointment or for more information, go to glennambrose.com, follow him on Facebook and Twitter, or click the link in the description of this episode.